Pope Francis has touched off a debate on the issue of surrogate motherhood. In his annual address to Vatican diplomats, the Roman Catholic leader listed surrogacy as among the evils afflicting modern society, and he called for a worldwide ban. Here's how Pope Francis justified his appeal.
The life of the unborn child in the mother's womb cannot be suppressed or turned into an object of trafficking. Therefore, the practice of what's known as surrogate motherhood is deplorable. It represents a grave violation of the dignity of the woman and the child based on the exploitation of the situation involving the mother's material needs. A child is always a gift and never the basis of a commercial contract. Consequently, I hope the international community will make an effort to prohibit the practice universally.
All right, for more, I'm joined now by Sarah Jones. She's the chief executive of Surrogacy UK. That's a British group that supports families on both ends of the surrogacy process. And she's a 5-time, and let me get this right, altruistic surrogate herself. Sarah, welcome to the show. It's good to have you with us. I just wanted to get the definitions right here. When you say you are an altruistic surrogate, does that mean you have carried a child for a couple and you've received no payment for it? Is that what that means?
Yes, that's correct. So I've acted as a surrogate 5 times for people that have turned into friends, lifelong friends for me. And I did it non-commercially for no payment whatsoever.
So you did it just because you want to help couples have children who can't have children themselves biologically, just out of the goodness of your heart?
Yeah, I thought, why not help change somebody's life? I adore my children and I love being a mum, and knowing that I could change somebody's life and create parents and grandparents was just something I knew I could do, and has brought me such a lot of joy that I obviously did it 5 times.
Yeah, I mean, hey, and you must have good genes if you can do it 5 times because you look great. I wonder what goes through your mind when you hear the Pope say that surrogacy is immoral and despicable?
I think there's a lot of confusion about the types of surrogacy. I'm personally opposed to commercial surrogacy. So there are some points that I would agree with him on. I don't think any woman's body should be commodified or children should be for sale. However, altruistic surrogacy does exist, and it exists successfully. And the UK is a really good example of that. We don't allow commercial surrogacy in the UK, and it has to be altruistic. And it works really, really well. And we have about 500 babies born a year in the UK through altruistic surrogacy. So it is successful and it works. And the children are loved and cherished and also have a lifelong relationship with their surrogate. So they just get additional family in the form of their surrogate.
So do you have a relationship then with the five families, or the 5 children that you've been a surrogate mother for? Do you have relationships with them after the birth?
Absolutely, yes. The eldest surrogate baby that I've given birth to is now 21, and the youngest is 3. And I have open and transparent relationships with them all. They know who I am, they know that I carried them, and they know that we have a lovely connection, and they're very proud of that.
So do they have a name for you? Do they call you, Auntie Sarah, or is there a little
just
title?
Sarah.
Just Sarah? Okay.
Just Sarah. Yeah, just Sarah.
Wow. Well, I mean, for some couples, surrogacy is one of few options available to have children as part of their family ideal. Talk to me then about the people who turn to your organization.
So it's a mix of people, really. It's women, heterosexual couples that have experienced infertility, that have experienced loss, stillbirths, etc., that have tried IVF numerous times. It's women that have had cancer and have had their wombs removed, and it's also same-sex couples who now are able to access surrogacy to build their families as well. So it's a wide range of people that can access surrogacy in the UK.
It's fascinating. I know that surrogate motherhood is regulated, as you were saying, differently around the world. It's allowed in some U.S. states. It's banned in Italy, in Spain. What do you do? I mean, I would assume that since you're pushing the altruistic model, that there would just be more demand for this model. Is that the case? I mean, is business booming for you?
We have we're very, very busy. So we are one of 3 large organisations in the UK, and we have around 600 surrogate applications every year. So 600 women come forward wanting to be surrogates. And as I say, we're just one of 3 large surrogacy organisations in the UK. Mm-hmm. So there are a large number of women volunteering to be surrogates. There will always be more intended parents that need surrogacy because infertility is on the rise. But yeah, no, it is getting bigger year on year for definite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, infertility is on the rise, and as a journalist, we've reported on so many events: the civil war in Syria, what's happening in Gaza, what's happening in Ukraine. There are millions of orphans now on this planet who would like to have parents. What do you say to critics who argue would-be parents are renting a womb, usually from a poorer woman, not always as in your case, but usually in other countries, going to extremes emotionally and financially just to pass on their DNA? What message does this send to an orphan child about his or her value as a person on this planet?
Well, all children have value. Every individual has value. And adoption should be considered by everybody before they make the choice whether to have their own genetic children. Whether you are infertile or same-sex couple, or whether you have no issues conceiving, everybody should consider whether adoption is right for them and make that choice on an individual basis.
Would you carry a child, Sarah? Would you carry a child for a couple that said, no, we would never consider adoption?
I think that I would do. But all of the intended parents that I've helped have considered adoption for definite. The first couple that I worked with, they wanted to adopt, but because they were of Greek heritage, they were told in the UK they weren't allowed to adopt a child outside of their own heritage.
I see.
So there are so many barriers to adoption, and they've been amazing parents.
Yeah.
And they would have been amazing adoptive parents.
Yeah.
So they didn't. So surrogacy was actually their second choice after adoption.
Yeah, we've got 2 adoptive daughters in my family. So yeah, I'm a big supporter of adoption as well. But good on you, Sarah Jones, for what you're doing, helping a lot of families realize the dream of a family. Chief Executive of Surrogacy UK. Sarah, we appreciate your time tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.